It has been in the news a lot lately with recent reports from the CDC and elsewhere that um, while overall smoking is down, and we've done a really good job of letting teenagers know that cigarette smoking is bad for you, now we have these new products, e-cigarettes, vape pens, and the biggest of all, it is a kind of vape pen, the Juuls. Um, there's a really an epidemic in increased use by teens, middle and high school students of Juuls. I mean, it's gone up like 70% in 1 year, and that's gotten a lot of people's attention. So this grant is we're going to use the money to raise awareness with children, with the teens in the schools, middle school, high school kids. Also, we want to let the larger public know what's going on with this because people who don't use these products might not be aware of what they actually do. They are a nicotine delivery system, and kids are not as aware. They're aware of the product, but they're not aware of what they're getting with the product. A lot of them, recently I was at a health fair at a local middle school just asking kids some questions, and a lot of them think there's no nicotine in some of these products. Well, Juuls all do have nicotine, and on their website it says this product contains nicotine. But a lot of kids think that they're just getting flavors because a lot of the flavors, look like maybe they're promoting this use among kids because you have something like mango, mint, cream. So, and they're brightly colored. And the Juul device itself is, it looks like a cool little high-tech device. A lot of the other vaping pens, e-cigarettes, are larger, clunkier. But this, I mean, it's about the size of maybe my longest finger, and kids have been using them in schools. They're easy to conceal. Teachers are now more aware of this, so they're able to know that the kids are doing it and to stop that. But like they can be charged. It looks like a really long USB stick, and you can charge it in with a computer, and then just plug in the little flavor capsules. And a lot of the flavor refills are not being regulated by the Food and Drug Administration yet. That's something that I think there's some calls for that. So there's been testing along with nicotine. A lot of the flavor packets, like the e-juice, they call it, some of it contains chemicals like arsenic, lead, formaldehyde. It's just not being regulated. And there's also been a significant increase in calls to poison centers. The CDC has reported that. Because like if you have a little kid who gets one of these little bottles of juice and it's brightly colored and it says wild cherry on it, a small amount of that can kill a kid. It would be a poison. It's if they drink it, it's in a much more concentrated form than somebody who would be smoking it through the device. So that is another issue. And we want to let the public know the facts about the products. Because, they were originally promoted as ways for people to stop smoking. And, if somebody's using it that way, that's, it's legal for adults to have these things, but not for kids. And the biggest problem and the biggest danger that everyone is worrying about, these do contain nicotine, the Juuls. And the teenage brain is still developing. Nicotine packs a much bigger punch as far as changing the brain up until the early 20s. So kids who are exposed to nicotine at that early age, they're much more likely to be addicted to it later on. Even if they don't start smoking yet, they might later. And we really don't know what all the health effects will be from using e-cigarettes and vape pens. We have decades worth of research on traditional cigarettes, We don't know yet what the chemicals in vape pens and e-cigarettes could do to the lungs. But there's a lot of concern. We want anyone who is using these products to be fully aware, and we want kids to be fully aware, because these are not just harmless flavor delivery systems. They're getting them hooked on nicotine. And whether that product itself is harmful in the long run, we know cigarettes definitely are.